So this is going to be the last one for the day, and I'm just like getting a little bit exhausted. So I thought I would just sit here and chill and do a nice little whisper ramble that everyone loves. I love a good whisper ramble. I literally have no plans about what to talk about because I just randomly chose to film this video. I could talk about my worries, my concerns, my troubles with my YouTube channels, but nobody wants to hear that. So I'll just talk about whatever pops into my head. And the first thing is maps. If you don't know what maps is, it's Married at First Sight, and the Australian version is currently airing, and I think there's about 2 weeks left. And it's also airing in the UK, I believe, but they are about 2 months behind or something like that. So they're a little bit behind. So if you're watching in the UK and you don't want the spoilers, because I have no idea what I'm going to say, then maybe watch this at a later date and come back and tell me what you think. So basically, there's been a lot that's happened this season. I actually don't think I watched any of the other seasons properly, but this time I have literally watched every episode, and I watch them when they come out on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Sunday is usually the commitment ceremony where the couples choose to stay or leave, except if one of them says stay and the other says leave. They both have to stay in the experiment, it's called. Also, the experiment is literally what its name is. It's Married at First Sight. So they get married without seeing each other ever before. Except I heard that in America they're actually legally married, which is crazy. That does not happen in Australia. It's not legal at all. But they do have like a little wedding, which is cute. And Monday is usually like whatever they're doing that week. Like this time it was going to their partner's family's home to meet them, and the other week it was like writing letters to each other about something from their past or something like that. And then Wednesday is usually the dinner party, which is where all the fun happens because everyone has some alcohol in their system. They're tired. I've heard that production sometimes makes them film until like 3 a.m. until they get some drama out of it. So that kind of shows you how real of reality TV it is. I don't know. I mean, like, there's always speculation, you know, like how much of this is real. You don't really know. And this season, Jackie is one of the women, and she's just like going out on TikTok and Instagram and saying like, I was just acting, I was just trolling, because she does all these crazy things. She says all these crazy things on the show, and then she says, oh, it was just fake. So everyone's like, what, Jackie? That is really weird. Her husband is just such a long story. So Paul, who is Karina's husband, has dated one of the other wives' twin sisters because they live in the same place. It was like 2 years ago they dated each other. They didn't work out. That's fine. And then there was a task where the husbands have to swap wives, and Paul, the husband, had to swap Karina with Afina, who is the twin sister's sister, who is a wife on the show. Did any of that make sense? And when Karina heard this, she found out that Paul had dated Afina's twin sister. And Karina said, "Oh, I didn't know you would go for that kind of caliber." That is so rude. What the hell? How can you judge someone's caliber? Yeah. So then Paul was with Afina, and they had to write letters to each other about their concerns of their real partners. Well, they're not real, but they're actual partners in the experiment. And Paul wrote "Oh, Karina said this, but and so I think she's a little bit snobby sometimes. She's a bit of a snob. She's very judgmental, blah blah blah." And then after that wife swap was over, they had to all read the letters they wrote to their original partner, their real partner. So Paul read that to Karina and said, "You're a bit of," but he couldn't say the word snob. It was so funny. And the editing was just like a video of the letter and everything blurred out except the word snob, while Paul is sitting there stumbling on his words, "You're a bit of a little bit judgy." It was actually hilarious editing. Props to the editors. You are very funny sometimes. But also a bad thing is that Paul apparently got upset about something Karina said when she slept. They were listening to a song in the car, and it was a rapper, and Karina said, "Oh, I've slept with him before," and it was true. So Paul got really jealous, and he was really angry, and they both went back to their room, and Karina was trying to apologize, saying "Sorry, I shouldn't have said that," cuddling him, and Paul was like, "Stop, I need my own space," and he was feeling trapped. Apparently, that's what he said. And he ended up punching a hole in the bedroom door of the bedroom that Karina was in. And people are very upset about the fact that he was not just taken off the show or completely cut out of the edit, because they do not want people condoning domestic violence, especially on a TV show where the whole of Australia can watch it. And yeah, so that's Paul and Karina, that's Jamie and Dave, that's who else did I talk about? Did I talk about anyone else? Then there is Veronica and Elliot. Oh my god, this is